Why that is, I have no idea. But let's get with it. Well, there's a little space for me. Good morning, it's Keith Hayes. Rouser Radio has gone, and it's time for Mirador Television to take over. And I'm happy to say that we are here to take over. First of all, before we get into any frippery, because there's little enough frippery around, let's just take a look at the headlines, because as you would expect, at the moment, despite the fact that we've got 1,000 different problems, is what we've got is 1,000 different solutions, and we need to sort of start to take care of those. I'm trying very hard to sort of get us off the ground. I hope that we've got there we are, the papers. I've got the papers up now, and we can start to take a serious look at what's going on in our backyard. And in our backyard is a very suitable nomenclature, I think, at the moment. Is we are absolute bloody chaos. Because those people whom we have paid and gone to the lengths of voting for to represent us are not. They're fighting and they're squabbling still over the iced cake and all its ramifications. And it is time to stop and get on with what we're paying you for, and that is governing the country and leading it. First of all, get rid of Boris. Who on earth are you going to take his place? Well, first of all, if he gets rid of an airplane, he's doing there's not much good at all. But essentially, the effort at Westminster at the moment is to try and get rid of Boris without saying who anybody favours to take over. And perhaps that's because there is nobody capable of taking over. But we would soon find out if we had another pure general vote across the country, because they'll find out some reason as to why we can't do it that way. They don't like their lollipops taken away. They simply do not like decisions being made for them, which is what the democratic process is all about. But this one is really letting us down, and it's a great pity. Right, the Financial Times is. Let's go through. The Times is a wounded victor, and it says that Boris, although he won the vote, is now severely harmed, wounded, to actually drag himself out to lead the clan again. The Financial Times is Johnson wounded in confidence vote, and generally speaking, the headlines are much the same, all focusing on last night's vote, all focusing on where that leaves everybody this morning. And the fact of the matter is we don't know where it leaves. And once again, commentators from other media, with great aplomb, as if it's all right, say, what they'll do is they will now keep on trying until they've displaced him. That is not politics. That is not the politics we want. You get an answer, you never mind about whether it's a good answer or a bad answer or a pure answer or whatever. If you've got an answer, and leave it there to wake up to a couple of my colleagues. It's a long way to Tipperary. It is a difficult day, though, because now that we have, as they say, damaged the Prime Minister, who is there to take their place, his place? Oh, there we are. We're back. All right. The Metro. The party is over, Boris. The Mirror. Party's over, Boris. The PM clings to power, says The Guardian, after a vote humiliation. Well, one would expect emotive language from The Guardian. They can't wait to throw up their champagne glasses into the air. And on the eye, wounded Johnson in peril. The Star, a good old Daily Star, puts a lighter note on it. Is carry on Pinocchio, it says. And Pinocchio, the children's character whose nose continues to grow, if he is defeated by government, defeated by the king, is his nose starts to grow. And she says he carry on Pinocchio because his nose can't get any bigger. And then they say, oh yes, he can. The Daily Telegraph, a hollow victory tears the Tories apart. And the Sun, Night of the Blonde Knives. Wow. Daily Express, defiant and unbowed, Boris says, I'll lead the party to victory. The Daily Mail, as 148 Tory MPs hit the self-destruct button by opening door to smirking Stammer's coalition of chaos gets ready to kick in. And Boris vows, I'll bash on. Well, those are the headlines, and it's sad. It is sad indeed that we've got to the point where the politicians, those in Westminster, are so out of touch with the problems that are besetting us as a society, whether they're individual problems such as the grocery bill, or whether they're broad volumes such as the issue of freedom of the press, for instance. All these things are being looked after one way or the other. But I'm not at all sure that that's the way it's going to play out. I think that new rules are going to come in. I don't object to new rules. I've said publicly that the price of the price of reflection was worse than confliction. Well, we're about to find out, I think, because here we've got a lot of conflict, a lot of bad feeling being paid, and a lack of drive from the populace to countenance reform. Well, it's not very good, is it? All right, let's see what we can dig up to. Yes, let's take a little look at Lewis from the Air, shall we? It's turned out to be very popular, this one. Oh. Okay, there we go. That was Lewis from the Air. It's an interesting way of seeing the town, actually. I've got that a couple of times for us, and hopefully what will happen is we shall pop it in from time to time. So it is now 8:49. I think what we need to do is to see whether we can get hold of Fergus. There we go. Forgive us while we do this bit of administration. All right. Now you can come and you can get me. Actually, the hotel is a bit quiet this morning, strangely enough. I have no idea why. Right. Shall we carry on with our little call for Fergus? Fergus Wood, lovely young man. And very calmly and in a laid-back sort of way, he will do very well in our society, and that in itself is good. Okay, well, let's hope that we've got that one through to him. I, on the other hand, am looking to share other things with you, because I think we've got one of the things I've got here is council first. And since what I'm doing is I'm smearing the local councils, but also councils right up and down the country with inactivity and being lazy and indolent and so on and so forth, is here is council first, we've called it, and it's going back into the past. But let's see, and I'll be as surprised as you are how we dealt with certain things before we really get as sophisticated as we are, he said. Come on in. Come on in to East Sussex. The countryside is fabulous. Come on in to East Sussex. Come
Come on in. The life is wondrous. Come on in. Come on into East Sussex. There's room for all. Stop! We didn't mean the elderly. We didn't mean the lame. We didn't mean the sick. Oh dear me, no. The elderly want bus passes. After all, bus passes allow old people freedom. They can shop for themselves. They can get out of their homes. They can socialize. Meet people. Escape loneliness. None of that nonsense in East Sussex. We plan to axe the bus pass. Like to read? Oh dear, East Sussex isn't the place for you. The council plan is to charge for library services. Who reads nowadays anyway? A lot of politicians don't. Encourage reading? Oh dear me, no. Those who need help with transport to school aren't welcome. We plan to cut those costs. Waste recycling? We're all for that. But we can't keep the waste sites going for free. We plan to charge for entrance. All this is necessary, you see, to keep East Sussex as a welcome place to enter. Cut services to the old people, the lame and the sick. We just can't afford that. Come on in, though, to East Sussex. We can afford to pay our senior county council executives more than £1 million. We can also afford to pay almost the same amount for top executives in the district councils. Come on in. East Sussex is wonderful. Oi, now steady on. Democracy is flourishing. The councils have asked us, the people, what we think of these plans. Okay, they haven't listened in the past. But perhaps this time...
Well, here we go. Back again, I hope. Yes, there we go. So some of those issues were raised prior to lockdown. And I think now is the time to find out whether the policy for East Sussex County Council still embraces some of those things. And if so, what the thinking is behind it. Is no bus pass. No assistance for heat or light. Trying to keep people who would be potential leaders in the dark. Although there aren't many of those around, I can tell you. So right now, we need to follow up on some of those things that were going to be cancelled. And is that fair? Is it kind? Is it nice? Now be careful. Don't take that for gospel. That's exactly what's going to happen. Because in the main, it was done by an independent councillor, but who was as appalled as me, decided to give it some support. And we will bring a report from the lady in question about our activities and what we do. Anyway, let's take a quick check on everything. It's 8:59. 8:59 it is. And it's the 7th of June, for those who can never remember the day and the date. And the interim you're keeping things alive with on your own and with Fergus when he arrives is entirely up to you, my dear young chap. And let's have a look at the scene. I really want to run that later. What we had many years ago is not inquiring dogs, but teasing foxes and pretending to seize situations. And how are we on that? Are we actually still trying to cut out the bus pass? Keeps getting its mention. Are we trying to do it? Are we subject to a chat with people who don't know their A's from their A's? Now, what we have done is what we're doing is we're digging out old programs and to see what we were doing a few years ago at exactly this time of day, and trying very hard to keep the interest going. So let's let's go to one of our right now. We just talked about the Garden of Eden. Now, this is, as far as I'm aware, a program series that we did, and just to take you back in your memory, but also to make you feel of those days that were. Shall we? Yeah, why not? If it turns out the wrong one, it's better.
Well, good morning, and my usual rant. Just let me remind you that this day, Thursday, and also tomorrow, people are collecting or using coffee mornings for Macmillan, the well-known cancer charity, and if you can support that, I would urge you to. My own wife, my late wife, had breast cancer and managed to beat it with the help of Macmillan. So I'm very keen on this charity, and tomorrow, Friday, we'll actually be broadcasting from Lewes Station, where the station staff, along with my favourite runaway bistro cafe, will be raising money for Macmillan. So don't often make appeals like this on this programme, but this one is special, and I hope you'll join us tomorrow when we try to have a bit of fun down at the station, supporting Macmillan for the morning. I escaped jail yesterday. Give credit where credit is due. Lewes District Council, with whom I've got the argument, responded when I attended court. I never actually did get into the magistrates' court at all. They withdrew the summons before that happened. And for once, I had a decent sort of chap to talk to who listened to what I had to say. Customer First, I don't know whether he's part of Customer First, but Customer First, when they just use email and so on, don't have a clue. Not a clue. So I'm not being very forgiving for them for that. But yesterday they had a chap who was willing to listen to the case, decided that it could be resolved, and is trying hard to resolve it. And between us, let's see if we can come to some conclusion. But at least I was quite impressed with what LDC did yesterday in that particular instance. If they get some PR help now, might be okay. Incidentally, one of the strange things I find is everybody wants a password nowadays. We're absolutely paranoid about passwords, and I can't remember them all, and I don't really feel like going through the process of keep on starting a new one for everything I look at. But you go to Lewes District Council's website, and it tells you, here are some press releases, and here's what we're doing, and so on and so forth. And you press on the piece that you're interested in reading, and you have to go and fill in, get a password and all the rest of it. Well, we're past that, I think. I'm 78, and even I realise that most people nowadays just want to tap and be done with it. Yeah, some people are doing the finger thing, and some people are paying for their coffee with their phone and so on. I haven't got quite that far, but nonetheless, one tap and that should be it. And somehow, somewhere, one of the brains that gets behind all these things, even if they're security conscious, have got to do away with this password for absolutely everything. I do understand, I think, that there is a way of getting one password for everything that you do, but I suppose that's slightly dangerous. But the other thing is, I don't quite understand how to do it, and until somebody explains, then I urge, let's do something about not having passwords for absolutely everything that we do. We're having passwords to breathe next. I'm just keeping an eye here because I try hard to keep to 5 minutes for this particular rant. So my rant is that I'm not in jail, that I'm discussing things with the council at long last. Mind you, I asked them last July, if we could get together and have a chat. That fell on deaf ears. The top brass aren't that interested in talking to people like me. Oh my goodness me, no. But nonetheless, we seem to be getting somewhere with a resolution, and that's a result, I suppose. All right, so tomorrow I shall see you down at the station. The trains aren't really getting any better. Mine was late, 15 minutes getting into Victoria the other morning. When was that? Yesterday, the day before? There's a bit of chaos in the evening, and nobody knew which platform for a little while that the train was going to come in on. And then when it did, it was jam-packed within seconds. The train that I used to take at 8:45 in the morning, which was a lovely train, used to be an 8-coacher, sometimes a 12-coacher, sometimes it was a 4 and an 8, and it joined up in Lewis. Now it's just 4 coaches, and of course you're fighting for a seat, and that's the sort of thing that the train companies now need to look at, is if they haven't got enough coaches or trains or whatever, don't put them on the schedule. But it's just making life miserable, and they're getting the flak for it. Okay, short rant this morning, and there we are. I'm a free man. Woo! And I worn my Russian hat just in case I got thrown into the gulag. But we'll see you tomorrow. And at the moment, the weather is looking pretty good, so perhaps we'll have a fine weekend, at least one where the heat will work up a thirst. Till then, toodle-pip.
Oh, there we are. A program series we called Scene in Sussex, SIS. And we hope that that gives you some idea that a lot has changed and a lot hasn't changed. What has changed, of course, is that we had great problems. We had real problems in lockdown, and making programs like that is a bit difficult yet. But we are getting there now. We're beginning to fire, and thanks to the two people who own the White Hart Hotel, Cliff and Sally Ayres, who have made it possible to broadcast from their hotel, trying out a different format, much like those of you who can remember in the past a program called Pebble Mill at 1. In other words, there is no severe program. You can drop in at any time. We'll look at anything as they become available. And all in all, you can keep up to date with what's going on. Sometimes we're a little late in that department. It doesn't matter, really. What we want is a good sense of character, if you like, a sense of understanding our character in our backyard, and we're getting it, or we were getting it, and now we're getting back to it. And some of the youngsters that are working now with us and for us have taken it to their heart. And we've got 2 at the moment. Possible that we'll have some more. Anyway, just for the moment, we need to take a breather. Here's my breather. Okie dokie, here we are, having visited the park. It is now 9:23. The headlines are all about Boris and his survival of the vote last night, of a vote of confidence. However, many point out that he's perhaps weakened by this vote because it wasn't as close as they anticipated it would be. Defiant and unbowed, Boris, I'll lead the party for victory. That's what the basic message from people in MPs in Westminster at the moment. And if they give him some support, undoubtedly he will. Because the opposition hasn't exactly shown a little of the nonsense. Right, okay. It's coming up now to 9:24. I think what we'll do is we'll what we'll do, won't we? We'll see if there's one last little bit that we can play that might bring a bit of joy to our time. But well, how about leaving this segment the way that we came in? There we go. Oh, we've frozen. Yeah, we've frozen. Oh, there we go. Well, I'm afraid that well, it's back, is it? No, it's not. It's jumping ahead, trying hard to catch up with itself. But this is the last little piece, and I'm sorry that it's going wrong because it is a beautiful experience to look at this from the air, from a different perspective. Never mind. It's 9:26, and we'll just have to call that. We will try it again later. We don't playing Turkey this time. All right, let's drop off for a few seeps, and then hopefully we'll have a view of not only the wine industry but what the hell's happening in our society with Fergus, and see where we play out from that. It is 9:27, and I see no reason why we can't take a break and then come back and see what this is.